cold. It's freezing.
Which button is
That didn't do a damn thing.
Well, if you stick your arm out.
I push the power.
Oh, well, that's great.
I don't know what else to do. And you gotta get it hot like you had it. I think you had all the buttons lit up. I have,
Wait, does that heat me?
yeah, and it's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
It's oscillating.
Loving it.
Takes the edge.
Takes the edge. John
Does?
gets the edge. I think it's talked about. How's your...
Good afternoon. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, June 4th, 2025, 2 o'clock meeting. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
I see many familiar faces, but I do see some people I haven't seen before. Those of you who have not been here before, could you raise your hands? This way you can hear the speech. Right, so the manner in which we conduct our hearings are as follows. First, we'll call for any adjournments. We'll get those out of the way. If there are no adjournments or we finish with the adjournments, then we call the regular calendar. The manner in which the hearings are conducted are as follows. The applicant is given the opportunity to present their case, and if there are any people in opposition, the opponents will then be given the opportunity of voicing their concerns. And finally, we allow the applicant to sum up. We accept all sorts of evidence. We're not burdened by the strict rules of evidence. It's not a court of law. It's an administrative body. We'll accept emails. If someone gets up and they're in opposition and you want to repeat what they said, you don't have to do it at length. You can simply say, you know, I agree with what the person before me said. Some decisions are made today. Others will take a while, depending on the complexity of the case. The proceedings are live streamed. The live streams are archived. You can refer to them in the future. We do have a court reporter here who tries to take down everything that's said. We would appreciate you not trying to talk over each other. This is not a debate. We need one person speaking at a time, right? And when you come up to the microphone, try to speak relatively slowly and speak into the microphone, because some of the board members are hard of hearing and they have difficulty hearing just about anything you want to say. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, we do have an application for adjournment, case 29925 and 325, also known as 300 East Clinton Avenue. VPSD Corporation, care of Helly Duarte.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Should I sit down?
You can,
Okay.
if you wish.
My name is Maria J. Miro from Maria J. Miro Design and Drafting, located at 1002 Merrick Avenue, North Merrick, New York. I'm here to adjourn case 299 and 300 for 300 Clinton Avenue because Mr. O'Brien will be presenting the case and he was not available today. He did give me a date of June 25th in the afternoon. I don't know if that, I think I spoke to Patrick, it works.
I spoke with, Mr. Chairman, I spoke with Mr. O'Brien, and June 25th at 2 o'clock will be okay.
Okay.
Is there anyone else here on that matter? Okay. Now, does she have to change the sign? You're going to change the sign, right?
I have to change the sign?
Patrick?
Yes, so
For the hearing, just
Yes.
to have the updated hearing
for the updated
date?
hearing date,
And
yes.
you don't have
Okay.
to do another mailing, just the sign.
The sign, okay, yes, that will be done.
Okay, thank you.
That's
You're
it?
done.
Okay, thanks.
Patrick, any other requests for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I do not have any other requests for adjournment.
Okay. Call the cases.
First, we'll be calling case 29225 near Island Park. Janet Fastberg, variance, lot area occupied, maintains second-story rear addition open below attached dwelling, also known as 154 Vanderbilt Avenue.
Dominic Minerva, Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant. The application before you today is for an area variance to maintain a rear second-story addition attached to an existing dwelling. Subject premises is known as 154 Vanderbilt Avenue in Island Park, New York. It's located on the south side of Vanderbilt Avenue, 220 feet east of Vanderbilt Place. The property was recently sold and an escrow was held pending the legalization of the second-story addition. The variance requested is for lot area, with 27.5% required and 31.85% provided. The second-floor addition was for the purpose of a master bedroom addition with a covered porch underneath on the first floor. It was built behind the existing dwelling, stepped in 2 feet 8 inches from the existing side wall of the dwelling. The variance is in keeping with the character of the area and other variances granted in the area. I'll take the board quickly through the radius map. On the same side, south side of Vanderbilt Avenue, on the subject block, on the radius map, tax lots 104 and 105, variance was granted for a lot area occupied of 32.3%. Under case number 758 of '08, slightly higher than the variance requested. Diagonally across the street, on the north side of Vanderbilt Avenue, tax lots 15, 16, and 17. Variance was granted under case number 285 of 11 for 33.4% lot area occupied. Directly across the street, on tax lots 18 through 20, there was also a lot area occupied variance under case 54 of 91, but none of the site plans in that file had the lot area occupied percentage on it. And just off the radius map, on the south side of Hamilton Avenue, the radius map ends with tax lot 97. On tax lots 101 through 103, under case number 775 of 21, there was a 52.5% lot area occupied variance. I do have copies of all of the decisions with the accompanying site plan to submit as evidence for the file, except for the one that was missing the percentage, which could not be located. Thank you.
We'll accept those in evidence.
Thank you. It's the applicant's position that the variance requested is minor in nature, in keeping with the character of the area, will not be detrimental to surrounding property owners, and we request your favorable consideration.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the board or any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Minerva, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. This one I looked at, you know. It's not bad.
Next, we have case 293-25, West Hempstead, Nellie Backer. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front with from and on street line to front setback line, maintained dwelling on a lesser lot, also known as 967 Cayuga Road, as well as case 294-25, West Hempstead, Nellie Backer. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling, east side of Cayuga Road, 209
I've seen
feet north of
something like this
Champlain
No,
Avenue.
it's not. It's not. Yeah, probably, but leading to that door.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record,
Good afternoon, Mr. Edwards. Yeah,
more than that, hopefully. For the record, my name is Wayne Edwards, Son Ward, Braff, Cascignano, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Unionville, New York. We are the attorneys for Nellie Backer, the owner of the subject parcel, located at 967 Cuyahoga Road, West Hempstead, New York, known as Section 35, Block 651, Lot 25 on the land and tax map of Nassau County. Just for the record, Mrs. Backer is sitting to my right. It's first time at the, even though she's lived in the town for a long time, first time at the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Wait, I'm sorry, who's that sitting here?
That's the applicant, Nellie Backer, and property owner. Yes. And it's my client's intention to subdivide the 100 by 100 lot, the 250 by 100 foot lots, maintaining the existing dwelling built in 1928, which is approximately 1,240 square feet, and selling the other 50 by 100 lot. This application requires for both lot area, 6,000 is required, 5,000 would be provided. Front width from and on street line to front yard setback, 55 feet required, 50 feet provided. The lot with the house on it, the house is already existing, needs a side yard variance, 5 yards, 5 feet is required, 3.16 is provided.
Wait, I don't have side yard on that one, Mr. Edwards.
This is on the existing, on these.
I know, on case 293.
Yes.
Side yard variance is not required, that is
Okay.
That is not the side of the house where the proposed lot line is.
Okay. Non-conforming. It's non-conforming. Okay. My client, Nellie Backer, has owned the property since 1999. She raised her daughter, niece, and nephew, and her mother resided there until she passed away at the age of 102 years old in 2020. So she's expecting to spend a lot more time, a number of more years there. She is a fixture in that community. She's worked as a public school teacher until 2008, and then she was employed helping disabled people. She is now retired and wishes to remain in the house that she has lived in for so many years and nurtured a family. But being retired, her only income now is from a pension and Social Security. The expenses of the house, as with all of our expenses, have gone up considerably.
Mr. Edwards, could you just bring it a little closer?
Okay, here we go. Her taxes are approximately $9,000 a year, and then there's insurance and other expenses. A number of years ago, in order to educate her daughter, take care of her mother, and live in the house and take care of these expenses, she took a mortgage. So we have that to deal with, over $350,000. These total costs exceed her Social Security and pension payments. She has received help from the family, but feels bad about doing so. The ability to sell the 50 by 100 parcel to a home builder will make a big difference in her life and give her the ability to pay off some of the debt and supplement the additional costs that she's sustaining and stay in the house. She has not gone into contract to sell the house yet. She wanted to subdivide it and take care of all of these issues before she would proceed. I'd like to submit also some consents from her neighbors, if I can find them. No, I got a new one. Okay. Sorry. 6 consents from people across the street and the one next door on to the east.
we'll accept those.
To the east. Okay. I've marked it off on the radius map as well as where we've received it. I have with me today Mr. Barry Nelson, a real estate expert who has testified before the board on many occasions, and I would like him to present on the matter.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes, sir.
You have previously been qualified by this board as a real estate expert, and you have testified before the board on many occasions since the last time you qualified as a real estate expert. Have any of your qualifications changed?
No, sir.
Then we will once again qualify you as a real estate expert.
Thank
You
you.
are free to so testify.
I have several exhibits I'd like to submit for the board to review. I have had them uploaded to the portal. I have photographs of the subject property. There are 15 pictures taken by myself and, in my opinion, fairly and accurately depict the subject property. I also have aerial views of the subject property surrounding area and comparable sales of houses that sold in the area.
We'll accept those in evidence.
Thank you.
Did you take the aerial photographs yourself, or?
No, I got them off the County of Nassau website, which has been upgraded, and it's much better these days.
Thought you had taken flying lessons.
No, I need a drone.
You do?
I know.
Thought you were going to tell me you had a drone.
Not yet.
Go ahead.
The area is generally south of the Sutton State Parkway, west of Woodfield Road, north of Lakeview Avenue, and east of Ocean Avenue, in the Lakeview section of West Hempstead. The area is fully developed, single-family homes. There are some non-conforming properties. Nevertheless, the residential B zone requires 55-foot frontage and 6,000 square feet lot area. The applicant seeks to sell off the northerly portion, maintain the existing house on the southerly portion with a area for on-site parking as well. The new house will be a proposed colonial in design with a one-car internal garage and driveway for off-street parking. As I mentioned, the area is fully developed. Most of the parcels are conforming in size. The subject property is the largest parcel in the area at 10,000 square feet, and it's one of the only parcels that lends itself to this type of subdivision. 50 by 100 for the new house, 50 by 100 for the maintained. Right next to the subject property, there's a 40 by 100 touching the property to the northeast on the northeast corner of the property is a less than 6,000 square feet and approximately 50-foot frontage. The council handed in the letter of support. Every parcel just about within a 100-foot radius on the west side of Cayuga Road. Additionally, one to the north and one to the south have consented to this application for a subdivision. There is additional 40 by 100 just outside the 100-foot radius on the east side of Cayuga Road in the subject lot. The applicant seeks benefits that are not traditionally mentioned as far as selling prices and monetary prices, but it is monetary to the applicant to continue to live within this community and to maintain the dwelling at its current location. In my opinion, the proposed subdivision as proposed is not going to be detrimental to the adjacent properties. The greatest side yard for the subdivision on the new house is adjacent to a parcel to the north, which has a side yard of at least 15 feet.
Mr. Nelson, can you
Yes.
just tell me, I'm not seeing any lot at first blush, or I see maybe one, that this would have a precedential effect on.
I'm sorry,
Did
that
you
has what?
say that that could also be divided this way in the neighborhood? I thought you said there was one or two, I just wanted you to tell me
No,
where
no,
they...
there are, in my opinion, there's only possibly one parcel that may lend itself to a subdivision.
Which
And
one?
that would be further north on the west side,
Hold on.
and that would be
North.
tax lot 35.
Oh,
And it's
slightly smaller than the applicant.
Yes.
It would be a 45-foot frontage and 90-foot,
Or maybe the one on this corner of Champlain and Adkins, but that's out, just outside the radius.
correct, that is a oversized
So
parcel
that really doesn't present an issue,
in this application.
right?
That is correct. So the benefit to the applicant would be he can continue to reside in the dwelling that he's lived there for many years, stay within the community, and have a new house next door. Values in the area are anywhere from $450,000 to about $800,000. The subject property would be worth approximately $550,000 to $575,000. A building lot is at least $250,000. A new house at that location would sell for approximately $800,000. The house itself would maintain a value of about $525,000 without being any detriment to the surrounding community. All municipal services are available to the subject property, and in my opinion, what you brought is a reasonable request. Thank you.
Have you been in the house?
I have not been inside.
You've been in the house?
Yes, I have.
What's in the basement of the existing house?
I didn't go into, I have to say, I didn't go into the basement.
In the
Right, I
future,
go-
could you?
Go into the basement?
Yeah,
Go into the
because
basement?
that's what we often ask about.
Okay. But I have Mrs. Backer here, and
She
she
can
could,
testify.
I could ask her.
She knows what's in the basement?
I would hope so.
Hope so. I hope it's a high ceiling in the basement. He's a pretty tall guy.
Well,
Nothing to
there's,
no one.
there's some stuff in the basement. I saw it. Pardon me? Yeah.
Come up and
Get sworn in and give your name and address.
My name is Nelly Baker, 967 Hempstead Road, Western State.
Hold on, let me just pull out. This is 93. This is the wrong one. I thought I saw a bathroom in the basement, but
Yeah.
I just don't remember when I looked at the plans.
I have a Mr. Nelson, I have a question for you before we
And these
proceed.
pictures came, and I have all the pictures, I didn't put them here. They inspect everything, we did over everything, even the sewer and everything, electricity and everything. There is one room that this is where we have storage, and there is a bathroom, and I have my
In the,
washing machine
you're
downstairs.
referring now to the basement, right? So
Yes,
yes,
the
a bathroom, a full bath,
Yes,
there's some finished storage, there's a mechanical room. Out the other end, there's some laundry area.
yes.
Okay. And if this were approved, that can't be used as living space. We get a lot of folks who, for no other reason, to help out families, sometimes make it into a little apartment. And it's only a 6 foot 6-inch ceiling, and so it wouldn't be suitable for that.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Chair. I think the chairman has a question.
Nelson, to your knowledge, within the 200-foot radius of this project, has there been any variance relief granted with respect to subdivisions?
Within the 200-foot radius, no, it's fully developed and existing.
No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwards, when the board is deliberate on this matter, would your client be amenable to a condition that each unit be owner-occupied by whoever owns it? That the homes be owner-occupied, not rentals?
Not an issue, it's not a problem.
Okay. We do have a few people who signed in. Are you done for this moment? You can have reserve some time. Two people who signed in, where's the signage? Hold on a second, there were two people who signed in interested.
We have consents here. Who's got it?
Okay.
Valson.
Valson.
Is there a Valson here?
Would you like to be heard? You just what?
You drove her.
Oh, okay.
And a Vanessa Bell?
Would you like to be heard? Okay.
No? Okay.
Is that your case?
That concludes our case.
Any other comments?
Mr. Pellegrini, yes. Something to say.
Exterior cellar entrance is legit.
I mean, if it isn't, he's gonna have to shore it up, right?
Yeah.
Because the inspector will see it. Maybe, yes, Mr. Edwards, on the existing maintained house, I'll make sure Mr. Pellegrini noticed there's a little bit of an odd shaped area with a door. It looks like it might be a roofing system to cover stairs going to the basement or on the side of the house.
No, I don't think so, but
Miss Baker, you know what we're talking about on the side of the maintained house?
there was a one-story addition put onto that house
Here.
years
Miss
ago.
Baker, do you have an exterior basement entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, go show Mr. Edwards that.
We'll close that off. That's what,
Well, we don't even know if it's an open permit.
yeah, but it's a 6-foot ceiling. It's not really necessary other than bringing lawn chairs in and out.
No, but we're just asking you, was that put on with the benefit of a permit?
Yes,
We don't see it on the permit.
I saw it on my list.
Okay, it must have been one of the, it must be a part of,
It was
I think
1943.
oh, that one, rear addition to dwelling?
That's
That
it.
includes that? Okay.
Yep.
Because I thought that was the side, but
That was
okay,
1943.
got it. I have no further questions. Do you have any other questions? So Becky, you don't have to look up that. Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Edwards, Mr. Nelson, Ms. Baker, and the other two people who were here and signed in, you will all receive a copy of the board's decision in the mail once it is rendered. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Aye. So Becky doesn't need to look that up.
No.
Next, we have case 29525 Wantaw, Capstone Homes LLC. Variance subdivision of lot, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling, parcel A, also known as 2021 Pine Street. We also have application 29625 Wantaw, Capstone Homes LLC, variances subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, front yard average setback, construct dwelling with garage, parcel B, south side of Woodward Avenue, 60 feet east of Pine Street.
We're attached at the hip. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Appearing for the applicant, Howard Abertine, 66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center. This is the application of Capstone Homes LLC for variances required in order to subdivide a parcel of property into 2 lots and to construct 2 new single-family dwellings. The premises under application is located at the southeast corner of Pine Street and Woodward Avenue in Wantaw. It has a street address of 2021 Pine Street and is also known as Section 57, Block 301, Lot 57 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. The premises has dimensions of 119.46 feet in width by 100 feet in depth, with a total lot area of 11,946 square feet. The previously existing dwelling on the premises was demolished pursuant to a demolition permit issued by the town. By this application, the applicant seeks variances authorizing subdivision of the premises into 2 parcels and construction of a new single-family dwelling on each. Parcel A, the corner parcel, has dimensions of 60 feet in width by 100 feet in depth, and a total lot area of 6,000 square feet. It is totally zoning compliant for the Residence A zoning district. Parcel B, the interior lot, has dimensions of 59.46 feet in width by 100 feet in depth, and a total lot area of 5,946 square feet. Right, that's 296, parcel B. Yes, that's parcel B. So the variances required are for lot area for parcel B. 6,000 square feet is required, 5,946 square feet is provided, or 54 square feet short of the requirement. With respect to the lot width, 60 feet is required, and 59.46 feet is provided, approximately 6 inches short. Also, we require average front yard setback relief. The average is 37.8 feet, and the proposed is 30 feet. Unless the board has questions of me at this time, I'd like to call Barry Nelson to testify regarding area character.
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. I'm handing in several exhibits, photographs of the subject property that include... Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. Photographs that include the subject property and the surrounding area on Pine Street, Woodward Avenue. They include 24 pictures. In my opinion, they fairly and accurately represent the subject property and the surrounding uses. Handed in aerial views that were taken off the County of Nassau website as well as Google Earth, and some comparable sales that I obtained from the multiple listing service. The subject property is generally located south of Sunrise Highway, southwest of Seaford Avenue, east of Wantor Avenue, and north of Merrick Road. The area subject property is within a residential A zone. Just to the south, just outside the 100-foot radius, or beginning at the 100-foot radius, that is the residential B zoning district for the area. Subject property is a residential A zone. Council has gone over the criteria and the need for the area variances. The existing house on the property was demolished. The proposal allowed for 2 new colonial homes with internal garages facing to Woodward Avenue. Woodward Avenue is just about fully developed, and if you look at the radius map, you'll see numerous parcels with the 50-foot frontages. That would include in the subject block the second, third, and fourth houses to the east. Each has 50-foot frontages. Northwest, opposite the subject property, beginning at 3379, going west down to 3351, are all 50-foot frontages. In fact, just at the 200-foot setback, there are 2 new colonials, which I provided photographs of those houses, and they were an application before this board by the same developer, and that was under cases 849 and 850 of 2022, and the hearing was December 14th, 2022, granted the same day decision 12/14/2022. They required subdivision and front width.
Now, what was that front width? Do you know offhand?
It is a residential A zone, it's on your radius map, and each one of them was 54.93 feet.
In these cases, 60 feet, which does not require front width,
Right?
and the other is 59.46,
Correct,
which does require.
correct.
Okay.
So those were slightly smaller, and the applicant proposal is slightly larger. And you will see just across the street, 4 additional 50-foot frontages, and just to the east of the subject property, the second, third, and fourth each having 50-foot frontages. In my opinion, the
Those
request...
were older homes, though. That's constructed quite a while ago,
Yes,
on the 50s.
that is correct, sir.
That did not need any zoning board relief or board of appeals.
Correct.
Okay.
But they're existing and pattern of development, established area, and they each have 50-foot frontages.
Understood.
Thank you. In my opinion, the requested variances for both the lot area and the front width are de minimis, and it would have no negative impact to the surrounding community. The builder has been before this board, as I mentioned, across the street. He has built other houses in the community as well as further west on Woodward Avenue. Very good builder, quality homes, sells with a good market, and in my opinion, 2 new colonials would sell for at least $1,150,000 plus on each parcel. That said, the benefit to the applicant outweighs the detriment to the surrounding community. The benefit to the applicant is substantial, and in my opinion, is not going to alter or change the sense of character of the neighborhood. In fact, just to the north on Seaford Avenue, you have much commercial properties, and just touching the 200-foot radius, you have new car storage and commercial development closer to Sunrise Highway, but within the radius. That said, I believe this is a reasonable application before the board to consider positively.
Nelson, how many, I too think the bulk of your variances are de minimis. It's not rocket science. How many of the houses in the 200-foot radius are lacking on the front width?
Primarily, we would look at Woodward Avenue, in that those 2 houses proposed are fronting to Woodward Avenue. 9 out of the 16 within the 200-foot radius, 56%.
Well, see, I have, within the 200-foot radius,
On Woodward Avenue.
it requires 60, doesn't it? So I thought there were, on Woodward, okay, because I counted a few more, but there was a couple on Austin there in the radius and a couple on Seaford.
I didn't reference Austin because Austin is a residential B zone and 55-foot frontage is,
I see. Well, those are 50 anyway, but
so I have to be conservative, straight.
I'm just looking through a few letters in opposition, Mr. Albertine, so I can let you address them. Some of them are lengthy.
And I did provide comparable sales of recent new construction in the area, and you'll see.
new construction in the area.
What's that?
You said for new construction in
For new construction in the area.
I didn't see any new construction.
What do you mean?
When I was there, and I went there yesterday,
Right across the street, tax lots 10, 11, and 10, 12.
It's to the north and west, Mr. Pellegrini.
Yes, I have photographs of those.
And that was, and if I may, those were the variances granted in 2022 that Mr. Nelson referenced previously that required lot width
Subdivision.
relief.
And if you just travel westerly outside the radius, 3314 and 3320, as well as 3324 are all young colonials within the last, under 10 years old. I also looked on Beach Street, which would be several blocks to the west, 2078 Beach Street, 2072 Beach Street. You have also, and that would be the southwest corner of Boston and Beach Street, southwest corner, northwest corner, 2046 and 2040 Beach Street. If you continue around the block just to the southeast, you have 2089 Spruce Street and 2093 Spruce Street. They're all new colonials in the area.
So Mr. Pellegrini is telling me, I mean, the biggest variance you're asking for, which is still not huge, was the 37.8 versus 30. But according to Mr., it was front yard average. Is that's on the second?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I didn't
So
hear your question.
is Lot B, what you're calling Lot B, is that the interior lot?
Lot B. Lot B is the interior lot,
Okay.
the one that needs variances,
Pardon me?
the one that needs the width and area. Lot B, the interior lot.
Okay. Yeah, because
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Does that require a front
It
yard
does.
yeah, you said it's required 37.8 and you're providing 30.
Correct.
For a moment, we were thinking it was the corner lot, so it would be 30 and 30. So you do need the front yard on that one,
On the interior,
because it's an inch.
correct.
Where's the
No
sign
worries.
sheet?
Can I, let me just, Mr. Abertino.
Yes.
You received 3 letters in opposition. The predominant theme is, it's too small for 2 homes. Basically, our neighborhood is more spacious. There's something about, more noise, etc. So you can address that if you wish. Obviously, they're de minimis variances, and so you can take that. But we also, I understand that the owner was cited by the health department for a mess in the yard or something. Can you tell us about
I know nothing about it.
sanitation?
I was there yesterday. The house is demolished, it's a fencing around it. It looks like a SH. You know what I mean by
Yeah,
that.
An ice
Well, the applicants
So,
are here.
Mr. Caponia, when will, may I?
Of course.
When will you address that issue, and when will it be taken care of? Because it's a
Wait, let's do this right.
let's,
Swear 'em.
Funniest thing ever still is
Frank Caponia, 18 K Street, Jericho, New York.
when will you address that issue?
I am already on it, yeah, because I know a code enforcement officer had called and left a message, and I called him back today, actually.
Okay,
I
you're on it.
spoke to him.
When,
It's Ken
when will you
Buffet.
clean it up? Because it really,
Tomorrow, today, actually. Today, I have my landscaper going there today.
now there's a hole in the ground, which is where the foundation was. Is that gonna remain there, or for the new construction, if you're approved?
Well, I have to excavate. I mean, I could try to level it out a little bit more. I would have to bring in dirt.
It needs to be prettied up. I don't know when you were there yesterday, but
I haven't been there. Sorry,
it really is a mess, and the whole neighborhood is,
But
it's a
don't
very
you
nice
live across the street or
neighborhood.
something?
No, lives
Oh, one of
elsewhere.
the complaints
Lives
said you lived
elsewhere.
across the street. Is the mess, is a landscaper enough power to clean up the mess? Sounds
Yeah,
like
I have, he has a bobcat, he has everything. He's good. He'll do it right away.
I know.
I'll go there myself and to make sure.
Would you please? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
as
know
soon as I'm
that's-
done here, I'm gonna go straight there and I'll tell him exactly what to do. Whatever you guys want, I'll do it, you know.
We want you to clean it up.
Yeah, I will.
Yes.
But I know I had the fence around it, so
Yeah, but
someone
it's-
must have been,
I don't know what it is or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's a wreck. Also, Mr. Albertine, or your client, whichever, if the board is inclined to approve the case, would your client accept an owner-occupied condition?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we listen to people who have signed in as objectors?
No, sir.
Okay. We have a number of people who signed in opposed. Robert Kittleberger, you want to come up? It's not working well enough. I'm still freezing.
Robert Kittleberger, 3339 Woodward Avenue, Montauk, 11793.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really wasn't prepared to speak today, but just from what I'm hearing now, the examples of the houses that are on the block that have already been varianced are houses that were already built by this builder. He's done it twice before on the block. He's changing the whole face of the block by squeezing two buildings into a spot where for the last 70 years, there's been a single home. And I wasn't even aware, but there's 3 different variances that they're applying for here now: frontage, square footage, and the depth from the street line. So, I mean, I don't know how much can be given to them. Granted, that block had a single-family home that was a sprawling Long Island ranch, and he's turning this block into what would look like a Queens block, squeezing 2 single-family homes into a space where there was a single-family home for years prior.
The 2 of the variances that he's requesting are about as de minimis as you can get. Instead of 6,000 square feet for the lot size, he's asking for 5,946 square feet. So I'm just, because we have to judge that. And in terms of the width of the frontage, it's supposed to be 60, and he's asking for it to be 59 and a half square feet. So those 2 are very de minimis. The other one is a 7-foot variance on the front yard setback. So that's a little more than the others.
Correct. I heard all that, and I agree.
Yeah,
It's very small numbers, but variances have been granted to this builder already twice on the block. If they continue to sell homes at these record prices, and he keeps knocking them down and putting up 2-family, how long is it going to be before it looks like a block in Queens?
Can I ask you, so we can take a look if we're out there inspecting, which houses, if you know, did this builder put up in that area?
I don't know the addresses. I know that directly across Woodward Avenue, 2 brand-new colonials built. They're beautiful homes. He builds the same exact house right next door to each other. I don't know how many different models he's got, but he builds 2 identical as a cost-cutting measure for him on his construction.
Mr. Albertine, is there any chance you could give us some of those addresses so we could take a look at the other homes?
I think they're here.
Yes, if you want, I'll give.
Just write them down so that if we're out there inspecting, we can take a look at the other stuff.
Sure. We'll give those to you, but I can tell you that they are in the radius. Oh. Mr. Nelson will write them down if you can interpret his handwriting.
It's okay.
355,
We have photos of the
3351,
So those are the most 2
built by
recent.
him.
And then within 2 years prior, he built 2 on the same side of Woodward Avenue further west. I believe it's next to 3324. Same thing. He built 2 identical homes. He changes the colors. That's about the only variance between them.
Yeah.
And he squeezes it where it had been a
3320.
sprawling ranch home that looked like it belonged on Woodward
3314,
Avenue, where there's a lot of properties like that. And he made it 2 single-family homes that are, I'm sure, varianced as well, that don't have 5 feet clearance on the sides. That's required. And again, I know that the variances are minimal amounts, but there's 3 different ones. So when do we draw the line?
No.
And 7 feet is not so small, if you ask me, because the house is next door. Now that instead of them looking out their front windows and being able to see down the block, they got 2 houses sticking out 7 feet longer that are blocking their view.
I'd have to take a look and see whether there's any.
What's the rear yard?
The rear yard
30 right now.
is 30.
So if you took 5, scooted back 5 feet,
No.
then you'd have a 2-foot front, you'd be still in compliance on the rear.
We could do that.
I don't know what it
We can move it back 5
may
feet.
make sense, and it might mix it up nicely too, you know.
That's certainly fine.
Well, we'll take that into consideration.
I know that for, if you look at the radius, and it's fine, Mrs. D'Amato, we'll certainly move it back, but I think the houses directly to the east, they're considerably deeper, and so they're set back further. 30 feet front yard for a 60 or 100-foot deep parcel is typically sufficient, but we understand that you'd rather have it moved back, or potentially, and we'll be happy to do that.
It'll be useful to have that option when we deliver it.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr.
The
Kittleberger?
corner house there is going to be at what's it, 25-foot setbacks on the corner? So it's just the one on the other side.
It's the interior.
Pardon me?
Interior.
So it's not like if the person wants to look down the block.
We're talking about the interior.
Yeah, but he was saying that the person on the other side cannot see down the block if they look out their front
This
window.
radius, man.
But they're not gonna see down the block, because the other house on the corner is gonna
Well,
be right
I think
there.
we're talking more about the degree of variance being requested.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I could do that.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, tell us what else.
Anything else, sir? Oh, I'm sorry.
Push the yards closer to each other, the fishing yard, instead of having on the east side, push that to the west side.
You want the greatest side yard to the adjacent neighbor on the east.
Yes, one side.
No, on the interior. There is a fire hydrant, but your garage is on the other side, you should be able to.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
But the thing is, Becky, the house next to it is clear on the other side.
That's correct.
There is a 30-foot side on the adjacent neighbor to the east.
Kind of make,
Who's got the radius, man?
all right, we'll figure
Is
it out.
John Hep?
Certainly move it over some, if that's what the board's preference is.
We'll keep that in mind.
There is a utility pole, yes. That's correct.
Okay,
It's, if you go right out to the drive, from the house to the driveway to the curb cut, just to the west of the curb cut.
Katrina.
but they're probably thinking of the
Driveway is on-
driveway.
The driveway
The driveway would have to
is on
move
the
over
east
as well.
side. There's a telephone pole just to the west of the driveway curb cut.
I'd like, while they're chatting, sir, I'd like to hear what else you have to say.
I just have just 3 more things, and I'm gonna forget them, so I'd
No.
love to get them out.
Go ahead.
So, the one thing is, I'm just curious if there's a possibility at all of the 2 houses not being built off the same blueprints. They all look
Same
identical.
what?
Blueprints, it's like identical homes, they look the same.
If I may, the corner house is 25 by 45, basically an in-line. The interior is 37 wide and 40 deep approximately. So they're different.
Yeah, they do look like,
configurations.
they have different footprints at least.
They're not the same footprint.
Right, as I say.
I could show the gentleman the appearance of the two homes if you'd like to see
Okay,
it.
would you like to see that?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, I'm just going by the last 2 sets that were built,
Yeah.
are built identical.
All right, that'd be great, Mr. Everty. Let him tell us the other 2 things. Sure. So that you guys can do that while we,
One thing was that we were discussing the foundation that's there now, was it gonna be removed or saved or graded? And it's not, it's gonna be completely removed, and 2 brand-new foundations for these 2 new houses are gonna replace it. And at least one other, another speaker's going to get up and talk about this, but on at least one other occasion, the two foundations that were dug out, the earth that was dug out was not trucked out of the site. It was simply regraded on the property, and it changed the drainage for the two houses on either side that now get water that never got water in the past. So something like that should be addressed, as well as the 3 different variances that they're applying for here.
So that's an engineering thing, right? The drainage, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, that's it.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Okay. Mr. Petrino, would you like to come up?
He's right next door.
Just wanted to make sure that you had a chance to see.
This is Vince. Good morning.
Hello, everyone.
Good
Good afternoon. Vinny Petrino, 3396 Woodward Avenue.
Okay.
So I live at the house right behind
next door.
the construction site. I've actually recently moved out, got my own apartment, and I'm every day almost going home, for dinner, visiting my parents. And ever since the first 2 constructions, and I'm afraid with this 3rd construction site, that it will be harder and harder for me to, 1, get down the street to get to my parents' house, and then 2, find parking.
Sir,
Yeah.
not
No,
behind.
go ahead.
You said you live
Of
behind
course, you said you live behind.
But you
So
live on the
behind the
side.
houses that would
No,
be
no, that's- it's
constructed, I'm
farther.
sorry, I'm 3396, so it would be like a 90 degree from the houses being constructed.
Your parents
Yes.
are Angelo, right?
Yes, my father.
They live at the property
Right
next
behind,
door?
yes.
No, it's not
Adjoining.
behind.
It's
Behind.
adjoining it.
Side.
Yes, okay.
It's on the
yes.
easterly
I
side.
apologize. When we were looking at the house that was demolished, it was always the back of the house.
Okay, so,
Okay.
just so we're clear, go ahead.
I apologize. So it's been harder and harder to get down the road. I find myself, having to pull off to the side of the road and let other cars pass by because of the amount of cars that are being parked on the street ever since the amount of, families that are on the block have been increasing. So if we continue to do that, I understand that the space is very close for the variances, but we're still doubling the amount of people that are going there. We're doubling the amount of cars that are going to be parked there. We're going to be, making it twice as busy as it normally is, and it's definitely noticeable.
Is there parking on both sides of the street at the same time?
Currently, yes, but with the proposed driveway on Woodward Avenue, that would be exactly where I park my car to go visit my parents.
It looks like they have a fairly big driveway now.
Big piece.
Yes, along with a fairly large garage. We are all car enthusiasts, and I do park in the street because we do all go in and out of the driveway at different times. I am the oldest of 6, so we are a big family. I've also lived there prior to moving out my whole life, so I know the property size is well suited for one family. They had 4 or 5 kids prior to moving out. I don't think splitting the property can support 2 families with kids comfortably.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to answer?
I'm going to leave the rest for my father.
I'm sure your
yes.
father will have
Yes,
something
yes,
to
sir.
say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Riley, you're up next. 3395.
My name is Michael Riley.
A little,
I
speak
live at
in,
3395 Woodward Avenue, here in Wantor.
could you speak a little closer to the mic, or you can grab the mic in your hand, sir?
Loudly.
Louder?
Yeah,
All right.
go ahead.
My name is Michael Riley. I live at 3395 Woodward Avenue.
Go ahead and tell us.
Basically, I guess I am the longest resident on that block. I moved there in 1971. I fell in love with that block because I lived in Astoria, Queens when my wife and I got married. And when we were looking for a home, we didn't want to to live in a story where the houses are right on top of each other. We came down that block and we fell in love with it. It hasn't changed that much in all these years, for 54 years we lived on that block. People had done renovations to their houses and they kept it, and the block is neat and stuff like that. I don't want to see
That means then they can be
a piece of
subdivided
property
equally.
now being divided where you could build two houses. We're gonna create a Queens in Wantagh. I don't wanna see that. Now, I'm retired, so I have a lot of time walking around. And there's houses that have been knocked down in my area. They have. Only one house has been built on those lots. They didn't try to create more than one house on the individual lot. That's on Spruce Street, on Maple Street, on Locust. All these houses that were probably built in the 40s and 50s, they were knocked down. One house, one single house has been rebuilt on those houses. If I go across on Oakland, 2 blocks north of Sunrise Highway, there's beautiful houses being built there. They're on single property. They didn't try to create another 2 houses on these individual lots. And all through Wantagh, in the Wantagh Woods there too, they are knocking down some of the houses and building one house on the same property. And these properties are bigger. They're not trying to create a Queens. I don't want a Queens in Wantagh. I want to die where I am on that block. I want to live there. And I want to continue. I want my grandkids to come there again and keep. Now, we have a lot of young couples moving on that block too, with their kids. I just want to keep the culture of that Wantagh and that area and that block the way it is, the way I remember it.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Excuse me?
I said, anything else you'd
No,
like
that's
to
good.
say? You sure?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your input. Angelo Petrino.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angelo Petrino.
Could you, little,
My name is Angelo Petrino. I live on 3396 Woodward Avenue. I'm right next to
Next door.
this property. Since this person, he took down the house, was there before, he makes so much dust. I just finished my stucco in my house. I had power wash my stucco. He doesn't ask to move the cars. He make all my cars. Now, he wants to do 2 houses in there. We already got a problem with the parking. My son come and visit me, it's no parking. Now they're gonna open the hospital right there. There's gonna be more cars. And we already got a problem with, since he took down the house, he stopped. Now the place, it's a mess. It's like a forest. It's animals in there. It's weeds. It's like a forest.
Well, part of this will involve, at the very least, a cleanup that he's already started on and has promised to
He never
get
cleaned.
done.
He
Well,
never-
he's going to now. He's just represented to us that he is, and we expect he will.
But I think it's a small space to put the 2 houses. Like Mr. Relly said, I live in Wantagh since 1988. After a long day, I come home, I don't want to see a window right next to my property. I live in Wantagh, I pay good taxes to live in Wantagh. I don't want to feel like I go in Queens.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
John Gonias? Gonias? Sorry if I mispronounced it. Thirty-three twenty-four.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is John Gonyas. I live in 3324 Woodward Avenue since 1986. The builder built the 2 beautiful houses right next to me. And when when they dug for the basements, they never take any dirt away. So they elevate the whole properties. So every time it rains, it takes my mulch and my flowers, everything in my driveway. Was a gentleman at the time there, his name was Matt. I brought up the situation, we'll fix it, we'll fix it. And then they end up putting fences, 6-foot fences, for you to understand how big of the difference was. On the new construction, the fences on the bottom was touching the soil. On my side, I have to put, from my own pocket, 2 sections on the bottom. This way, I cannot block the dirt coming anymore on my property. That's the way, that's the problem I have. The other thing is, they don't have to squeeze 2 houses in one small property. We live in a beautiful neighborhood. We like to die there, like the gentleman said. And they don't build any sidewalks. I don't understand why. The sidewalks stop on my house, and then they don't have any sidewalks.
Looks like.
Is it a requirement when someone builds a new house? Mr. Barone? No, is it Barone?
What's that?
Sorry. Is, when you build houses, does the highway department have any requirement, I don't know, that you put sidewalks, if there are otherwise sidewalks in front of the other homes?
Yeah, we go with whatever they want us to do. Whatever they want us to do, we do. Otherwise, I won't get a CO.
Is it a standard requirement that if you build a house, a brand-new house, in a neighborhood where there are sidewalks in front of other homes, do they?
They usually, yeah, I usually have to put sidewalks wherever they require, yeah.
So does he,
hold
hold on. I think that he's saying you built the 2 houses. that are
No
next to
sidewalk.
No sidewalks there?
No, sir.
Hold on one
Excuse
second.
me.
My sidewalk stopped right in front of my house, and then everybody's coming through my driveway, my sidewalk to go, I don't mind.
If the original
Oh, okay.
area does not have
You're talking about the
sidewalks.
other one, okay, you're talking about the one west.
Wait.
Shh.
If the
sit
original area does not have sidewalks, meaning if there are no sidewalks next to it, they usually do not require you to put in sidewalks and curbs.
Right, but he's saying that there are sidewalks and they just stop where the new houses are. That's why I was asking, because I didn't know.
That would really, it has to be a question for the Department of Engineering. They would make that determination.
I'm looking at the photographs that Mr. Nelson submitted. 3320 Woodward Avenue, which is 1 block west, which this builder built, and 3314 Woodward Avenue do not appear to have sidewalks other than the driveways. The other houses that this gentleman constructed apparently right across the street, if my memory served me correctly, they do have sidewalks. But just let me take a minute.
Yeah.
3355, that's right across the street from this site?
Yes.
That appears to have a sidewalk in front of it, sir, as does 3351, and it looks as if the adjoining parcel has no sidewalks. But these two, would you like to approach? Would you like to take a look?
I don't understand why the sidewalk stops on my house, and it's brand new construction, the 3320 and the 3314, and they have no sidewalks.
Yeah. The ones that are next door to him are the ones that we did,
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
And they do not have sidewalks. They have a
Originally, there was
large
no
driveway.
sidewalks right across the street. I don't think there's even sidewalks. So the town of Hempstead Highway Department, we asked, and, you know, we wanted to put sidewalks in. They said, I'm not required. So then I wasn't required to put, because I think past that house, only where he is, but past that house doesn't have sidewalks. So it's not like I'm gonna go anywhere, you know, I wouldn't. Yeah.
3351 and 3355 do have sidewalks.
Yes, then on that, when I built across the street, that was like the following year, or. Yeah,
22.
the following year.
It's 22.
Or 23, whatever. Yeah, then I put sidewalks in because there was sidewalks on both, on.
If the board were to grant this case, and it's just
Are you going to put in
hypothetical,
sidewalks?
would you put sidewalks in?
Yes, this one I would definitely put sidewalks in because it's a corner. I have to finish it.
Mr. Pellegrini, just if,
Yes.
in looking at the plot plan, sidewalks are depicted.
Well, they might, you know, we've,
No, understood. Well, we'll certainly put them in. I don't know what engineering or highways is gonna say
doesn't
about
matter.
that.
If the board grants it, they'll make it a condition
That,
that you're willing.
that's certainly fine.
Good, thank
That's certainly fine.
Yeah, I do see on the Google Maps that this gentleman's house and the others near him do all have sidewalks, and then the two new houses don't, as the numbers 3320 and 3314. And then they continue on the other side, so I don't know what happened there.
Should have a sidewalk.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Excuse me?
Anything else? You
No,
like
just I
Diana?
don't like every time it rains, I have my driveway messed up. I don't
Understood.
like that.
Okay. I think
Thank
we.
you.
we-
Thank you,
I think
all of you.
we mentioned that earlier, and hopefully we'll address it. Not hopefully, we will address it. Okay. It's not going to help him. Mr. Catanzaro? No, Mr. Catanzaro? Are you sure you're Mr. Catanzaro? Catanzaro.
Good afternoon.
Good
If you
afternoon.
don't mind, I'm going to read just because I'm more comfortable.
That's
My
fine.
name's Joseph Catanzaro Jr., and I reside with my wife and son at 3369 Woodward Avenue, Wantagh, New York, near the subject property at the southeast corner of Pine Street and Woodward Avenue. I'm here today to express my concerns regarding the proposed subdivision and construction of two new dwellings where one currently stands, or actually was torn down. This part of our mostly quiet neighborhood already serves a major outlet for traffic from the interior blocks, and adding two new homes on the corner will only worsen congestion on street parking, specifically during peak hours. Most importantly, this corner is a designated school bus stop for elementary, middle school, and high school students. It has always stop signs that are already frequently ignored or treated as yield signs. Now with the potential for two new homes with 2 to 4 cars per new household, parking will be inevitably spill onto the corners, further reducing visibility for drivers and increasing dangers for our children crossing the street. This raises real safety concerns for our families. Additionally, requested variances, small lot areas, reduced front yard setbacks, and narrow frontage will crowd the streetscape and disrupt the open, modest density feel that defines our neighborhood. We're not opposed to progress, but we ask that the board to carefully consider the long-term impact of this proposal on traffic safety and overall neighborhood character, especially the safety of our children. This project, if approved, we urge the board to limit its scope and to preserve the integrity of the community. Just a couple of things that I just want to pick up on, just so you guys understand our neighborhood. When you come down that block, it's a wide street with houses that are, they've been there for a long time, and they have big front yards and big backyards and side spaces. It just looks welcoming. and now you're building houses 2 at a time, and it's getting crowded. And like I said, I didn't know when I moved in that Pine Street, which comes down the block and into my driveway, that interior of the neighborhood kind of all feeds down Pine Street. And Pine Street, that corner where he wants to put 2 new houses, that's, like I said, where the bus stop is for all our kids. And some parents, they're getting older. Kids want their freedom. They want to cross the street. So now you're building 2 new houses. All these cars are going to be there. Like I said, I should have taped it. Nobody stops at these stop signs. It's already a safety hazard for our young kids. And I think the developers only care about their pocket and lining their pocket. They don't live in the neighborhood. They don't know the town. They live in Jericho or wherever the hell you guys live. And it's just not what we want for our neighborhood. Let them go do that in their own neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your time and your service.
Thank you. Mr. Quirk? Dennis Quirk. Hold on a second. He's my client.
Hello? Hi. Yeah, my name is Christopher Quirk, and I live at 3373 Woodward Avenue.
Excuse me, Mr. Quirk, I'd like to interrupt you. I'm now recusing myself on this case.
Okay, sir. You can go ahead and tell us what you want us to know.
I'm just not happy about that. I feel that the house was on Pine Street. It should stay on Pine Street. Now there's gonna be a house sticking me right in the face. And I guess that's what the builder's intention is to do. So, I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is, but, I don't want it. I don't like it, and I don't know, I'm not too happy about this.
Hold on, sir, I just want to see. We're at 3373. Let me just give me a second to find it. 3373. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry. I wanted to understand your reference about sticking you in the face. So I found where you are, so please go ahead.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I just feel that way. What can I do? Well, there's nothing I can do. They told me I could come down here and try to talk my way through it. That's what I'm trying to do, but,
The house that you're talking about on the corner, that lot needs no relief because it meets all the zoning requirements. The next lot over that they wish to create is the lot that needs a little relief, but it's not a lot. I know it's offensive to have 2 houses instead of 1 to a lot of people, I get it. But again, the relief that they need is 6 inches on the width, and otherwise they wouldn't even be there, just get a permit. And, 50 square feet for the whole lot size, and then 2 to 7 feet on the setback.
so what you're saying, it's okay what they're doing? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying to you that in my 20 years on this board, I think that they need less relief for this subdivision than any case I can remember having. Because it's literally, if it were 6 inches wider, they wouldn't need a variance for the width. If it were about 50 feet bigger, 50 square feet, so 5 by 10, little section more, they wouldn't need relief for the size of the lot. They are also asking for about a 7-foot setback variance. In other words, they should be setting it back from the street, from Woodward, 37 and change. They wanted to set it back 30 instead, because the other house is being set back 30, which is the requirement for the corner lot. It's a different requirement. So we will deliberate as a board as to whether or not that's acceptable or what number is acceptable. But the other 2 numbers that they need, it's literally an inch from being, they don't even have to come here, they just get a permit as of right, because that existing lot is large enough to nearly create 2 legal lots.
Can I keep them on Pine Street? Can I keep them on Pine Street?
Well, the frontage.
That would be great.
The problem with that is that their frontage is on Woodward. If they were to cut it the other way, I mean, I suppose, I don't know what the width
We'd have
is.
50-foot frontages on each.
Yeah, the frontages would be smaller if they
Yeah.
cut it the other way, so.
We would need a front yard setback on,
Yeah, you'd
Woodward
only be at you'd have 250 widths, I think, instead of a 60 and a 50.
I mean, my feelings have nothing to do with it, but my feelings in myself, I would like it like that, but that's all I could say.
Yeah. They would be asking for more relief here, that if they cut the lot the other way. And that's
Yeah.
probably why they cut it the way they did.
Right.
They didn't want to ask for a lot of relief, I assume. That's commonly how it's done, so. Okay, is there anything else?
No, just thank you for letting me talk, and, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, Mr. Albertine, I didn't know if you wanted to speak to the comments about basically space and whatever else everyone who wished to be heard has been heard, correct? Yeah. So, Mr. Albertine, go ahead and close up if you'd like.
Thank you, Mrs. D'Amato.
You're welcome.
Just to address the comments that you mentioned previously, and with the backdrop of this hearing, the variances we are seeking are truly de minimis. I know a lot of times that term is thrown around, but it's really minimal. You're talking about, in terms of the width on the interior lot, 6 inches, and on the lot area, 54 square feet. Drainage was raised. We will certainly comply with all Town of Hempstead drainage requirements as dictated by the Department of Engineering. As far as the sidewalks, if the board wishes sidewalks, we will certainly install sidewalks.
I think whatever's consistent with what's there, assuming you're allowed to, makes sense.
Understood. We understand that. As far as parking is concerned, we comply. We have one-car internal garages. We have driveways. And also in terms of the notion of overdevelopment, please take a look at the radius map. Within the 200-foot radius, there are really no other oversized lots that would be subject to variance relief, with the exception of a lot on Seaford Avenue, which is really in the business zone, and then to the south on Austin, there is
62 and 63.
Correct. Otherwise, the subdivision is not feasible. With respect to the and with also the gentleman who spoke before about new construction, I would venture to surmise that in those instances, those lots were not subdividable. It was a case of an older home just simply being demolished and rebuilt on an existing lot that was not suitable for anything more than one home.
Unless
This
the
one-
people just wanted a big lot. Whatever.
Could be, but I'm just saying here, we have virtually 2 legal lots, and we're here for a very, very minimal variance. We are willing to take the necessary steps to ensure that any impacts are minimized. We would agree to lessen the front yard setback relief required by moving the house back 5 feet, if that's what the board feels would be appropriate. And I don't believe we can really move over the interior lot to the west because there is a utility pole that would be impacted if the house is moved over and the driveway is moved over as well. So overall, with the balancing the benefit to the applicant versus the detriment, we understand that folks don't want to see change in their neighborhood. But this is a very, very appropriate case, especially when considering the precedent across the street that Mr. Nelson put into the record, as well as further down Woodward. And Mr. Capone and his firm is a quality builder and always does the right job. He'll get out there, as he said, this afternoon to ensure that everything is cleaned up to the satisfaction of the town.
Your client doesn't still own 3320 and 3314, right?
Yeah, those have closed. That completes our presentation.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. All those who signed in will receive a written notice.
You'll all get a copy of the decision once it's made. All in favor? Aye. All right, have a nice day, folks.
Stephanie, how you doing? You sure?
Hello?
I'm on a 5-minute break, 10 minutes.
Yes, just confirming my appointment.
Okay. Next we have case 29725.
Patrick?
Time out.
10-minute break.
Young Chefs Academy? There's a half sandwich if you want. I don't need it.
No, no, what's the guy's name back there? He's got one, he slipped in there. No, I have the, have the other one, oh, yeah, and, the next one. Good thing we, turned, no, we just did this one. Then I got this in, and then this one, what's the name? And then this one.
Normally when I look cases, I say, is Howard Everton or Barry Nelson in front of me? Next, we're having case 29725 near Garden City, Kiwi Cooks LLC. Special exception for proposed place of public assembly and amusement in portion of the existing building, Young Chefs Academy, also known as 650 Stewart Avenue. Gentlemen, I have you sworn in from earlier. Just your name and address for the record.
66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center. This is the application of Kiwi Cooks LLC for a special exception authorizing a cooking school for children at the premises under application. The premises is part of a shopping center located on the southerly side of Stewart Avenue, 828.27 feet west of Quentin Roosevelt Boulevard in Garden City. It has a street address of 650 Stewart Avenue and is also known as Section 44, Block D, lots 43, 225, and 325 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. The premises is zoned business. The store in question has 1,553 square feet of area. The floor plan depicts 2 classroom areas, a reception area, a bathroom, mechanical storage room, and a corridor. The maximum occupancy as determined by the building department is 22. The nature of the business, it is a franchise cooking school for children ages 4 through 17. There'll be 10 children in each class with one instructor for each class. The classes are typically 60 to 90 minutes. They also have children's parties. They have a summer camp program as well, which consists of 3-hour courses and a multi-day framework for the summer. And the idea is for alternative type activity for children who are interested in learning how to cook. They teach them baking, they teach them all sorts of different types of cooking methods and recipes. Each of the classrooms has a stove, an oven, a microwave, refrigeration units, etc. And it's a very, very wholesome type activity. Again, the reason we are here is because this is considered a place of public assembly, therefore requiring approval from the board. No parking relief is required. The former use in this space and this use require the same amount of parking, so there is no deficiency created by the change of use to this space. And that is essentially the nature of the operation. It will fit in. Mr. Nelson will take us through the special exception criteria very briefly and explain how there will be no negative impact resulting from this use in the shopping center. Just to give you a little bit more background, during the school year, the hours will be 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. During the summer, the hours will be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mr. Nelson?
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. Council's gone over the application substantially. It's within a shopping center. There is no residential nearby. It's Stewart Avenue, the main arterial road. The pattern of development area character would include medical facility on the north side, restaurants, takeouts, some retail, McDonald's, etc. In fact, in the shopping center where the subject property is now, the subject unit's going to be located, there are other similar type uses that I would consider special exception public assembly, and it's been before this board, and you would have the Tiger Schulman's karate, self-defense type of facility. You have just to the west on the building on the subject property, a goldfish swim school. You have physical fitness within the center, et cetera. So what's before the board is for a special exception, 267 D2, and I
Almost
looked at
exactly
those
the same
criteria,
thing.
I can read it into the
Only they have two
records,
classes, we
but
have
the
one
board's
big
very
open
familiar
class.
with it. It's a good use, it's a use, again, retail's going out. There needs to be an alternative use to a lot of these retail centers and stores, and this, an alternative use, oh, I'm sorry, for retail, and this is a good use being within the four walls in an existing shopping center, as council mentioned. It's, no additional requirement for parking. It's locked in between some retail, some similar restaurant-type takeout, pizzeria, massage, envy, and I believe it's a reasonable request for this board to consider and grant for the special use permit.
Mr. Aratine?
Yes, sir.
The ages that are serviced by this operation?
4 years old to 17 years old.
4 to 17, and will your client have any classes for adults?
No, this is for children.
What are the ages?
4 years
to
of age to
17.
17.
Otherwise, I'd send my wife.
You know, I had a mother on the North Shore tell me like a year ago, she had like, I don't know, 13 and 14-year-old or 12 and 14, something like that. And she signed them up for a cooking class like 2 nights a week for an hour or two. She said the kids loved it, and it was nice because they were learning a skill too.
Exactly, and if it spurs an interest, it's a wonderful thing.
I can
I'd just like to submit photographs of the subject
Sure.
properties, right?
We'll take them in evidence. I can attest to the enjoyment that children get out of it because I own one in Chicago.
Ah,
Different name, not a franchise, but it's interesting. It's run very successfully.
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's an
keeps my daughter-in-law busy.
understood.
Why would you take away our one? And if this is approved, Mr. Abertine, when did you, how long would it, when would it likely open?
Very soon. They obtained a building permit for a interior alterations, and I think for whatever reason, I wasn't involved at the time, they were not denied for the public assembly, so they're ready to go. As soon as we get our permits, they will, I think, finish up whatever remaining interior work needs to be done and commence the operation.
Oh, it's by Restaurant Depot, it's in that
Yeah,
area.
right there.
Restaurant Depot is just to the east, yes.
Right.
No, it's right here on the radius, okay.
Yes.
I'm just thinking of my kids.
Anything you'd like to add?
Nothing.
Any other questions from the board? Do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Avertine, Mr. Nelson, and anyone else who may have signed in on the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it is rendered.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we're calling case 29825,
Mr. Minor.
Elmont, Clinton and Michelle, and Broadbelt. The variance, lot area occupied, maintain roof over attached to detached garage, also known as 47 Wellington Road.
Not yet, but he's,
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Gregory Mindel, 84 Bunker Hill Road, Salisbury, Connecticut,
you're taking my
06039.
wife.
Appearing for the
I
owner,
wanted to eat outside.
Clinton and Michelle Ann Broadbelt, 47 Wellington Road, Elmont, New York. We're here this afternoon requesting permission to maintain an existing roofed-over patio attached to a detached garage.
Got a
The
photo?
existing structure is approximately 197.28 square feet. It's an open structure on 3 sides. It's attached to a
And it will be
detached
kept
garage.
open.
When the owners had purchased this property, there were no trees in the backyard. The neighbors don't have any trees. There is absolutely no shade in this backyard. So they constructed this structure not knowing they required a building permit. It's been maintained in excellent condition, as has the whole property. They've brought the property up into an excellent state of repair and have improved it over the years.
gotta be kept
I'm
open,
familiar with this property for almost 4 years now. It's maintained in excellent condition. There are no objections to the existence of this structure. It poses no sightline, privacy issues
concrete
of
at the
any
whole
sort
block.
to any of
What's
the
their
neighbors.
name?
It's located
not even
inboard of the
Italian.
property line by approximately 7 feet from that west rear yard setback. It's screened by the garage to the north and can barely be seen by any of the other abutting neighbors. They use it, for entertaining in the rear yard. They have barbecue grill in the backyard, and again, it provides covered seating so they can actually enjoy the property. Yes. Yes. So we exceed the square footage allowed for lot coverage by approximately 560 square feet, whereas only 197.28 square feet is the actual roofed-over patio. We maintain 41% lot coverage. This is a residential B zone. We're allowed to maintain 27.5% lot coverage. Years prior, the allowance was 30% before they made the change in zoning, which reduced us further. At the time, before the roofed-over patio, the property maintained 36.59% lot coverage.
But wait, was that 30, so before we talk about this carport or whatever we're calling it, it was at 36% before that?
36.57%.
And what was that, what did that include, everything else?
That included everything but this structure.
And that all is already permitted?
Yes,
So the ask here is to go from 36 and a half to 41?
correct. I submitted photographs to the board. Although off-season, you could see the roofed-over patio attached to the garage. It should be in there, CS 12259. implied she wrote it up as a gazebo when she made application, thinking in her mind that's what it was. So you can imagine my surprise when I arrived at the property and it was actually more of a roofed over attached to the garage than a gazebo. So I changed the wording to be a little more reflective of what it actually is. Thank you, Mr. Pellegrini.
Because the only closed permits are for constructing the house and then for maintaining a shed other than fencing. So I just want to make sure that like, I don't even see the garage.
The garage was building permit 20395. That would be very old.
Right.
We haven't used numbers like that in very,
Looks
very long
messy.
time.
But I just want to see how, I'm trying to see, you know what I'm trying to do?
Unfortunately, I've had searches missing items lately, and I've tried to get them corrected before I get to you.
Yeah, like that garage permit really should be on here.
The search sheet is missing, it should say construct one-family dwelling and garage.
Oh, it says construct one family dwelling. so
It
that
should have
say
said and garage.
And can you see right there what the lot area occupied was of those two?
No, we had Pro Racing Trans Am at the track last week. And we have NASCAR coming up at the end of the month. Are you going to come? We're expecting 15,000 people. Imagine 15,000 people on country roads. They recently went to the zoning board to ask for one-way traffic for the weekend. I'm scared.
Mr. Mindo, what percentage of lot area occupied did you say? I know you gave us square footage, but
I
just
figured it out as 36.57 before the roofed over patio, 41% after the roofed over patio.
So, seems high.
It's a 40 by 100 property.
12 by 16. So you think it's 36 and a half, so 3 and a half, 4 and a half?
It's 40 by 100, so
The original building permit indicates that the zoning was a zone C,
Okay.
where now it looks like it's being reviewed as a zone B.
As a B, right? So what was the coverage of, you can't really tell.
I can't really tell without doing the calculation, but I'm assuming that it was most likely 35% exactly, considering the folder actually, the original folder actually says zone C.
Okay, so 35, and then adding the shed would have taken us likely to 36 and change. Okay, I just want to make sure. So the only thing, and the shed's already, did the shed need anything?
should have. But
All right, good enough. That answers my question.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Mindel, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Just a minute. Did you ask for this? A
Oh.
condition?
Let me withdraw my motion.
Withdrawn.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mindel, the chairman has instructed me to inquire as to whether or not, if we were inclined to approve this application, would your client agree to a condition that it not be enclosed in the future?
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Mindel, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed?
Oh, and here, you can come back.
Safe trip back to Never Never Land. No.
Next, we
Couture.
have case
Couture.
301 of 25 Franklin Square, Capstone Homes LLC, variances, subdivision of lot front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling and detached garage Lot A, formerly known as 960 Cathedral Avenue, as well as case 302 of 25 Franklin Square, Capstone Homes LLC, variances, subdivision of lot, front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling with garage Lot B, 180 feet east of Sideman Place.
Good afternoon once again. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, appearing for the applicant, Howard Avertine, 66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center. Nelson?
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710.
This is the application of Capstone Homes LLC for variances required in order to subdivide a parcel of property into 2 lots and to construct a new single-family home on each parcel. The premises under application is located on the northerly side of Cathedral Avenue, 140 feet east of Sideman Place in Franklin Square. The parcel has dimensions of approximately 80 feet in width, a depth of 162.12 feet on its westerly side, and a depth of 147.44 feet on its easterly side. It has a total lot area of 12,382 square feet. It is located in the Residence C zoning district. The home that is still on the parcel, but it is no longer occupied, was a legal 2-family dwelling. By this application, the applicant seeks approvals to subdivide the property into 2 parcels after demolition of the existing home and to construct 2 new single-family dwellings in accordance with the plans on file with the board. Parcel A, which is the westerly parcel on the left side of the plot plan, that parcel will have a lot area of 6,044 square feet, 6,044 square feet. The variance required is for lot width. 50 feet is required, 40 feet is provided. With respect to parcel B, that's the easterly or right side parcel, has a lot area of 6,338 square feet. Once again, the variance required is for lot width, 50 feet required, 40 feet provided. As you will see by reviewing the radius map, and as you will hear shortly from Mr. Nelson, the parcels are not out of character for the area. There are numerous parcels in the area with substandard lot widths, which make the requested relief appropriate. We certainly have sufficient lot area and comply with all requirements of the Residence C zoning district, but for the lot width relief being sought. Mr. Nelson.
Yes, sir. The subject property is situated within a C zone. If you look at the radius map, everything to the north would be the incorporated village of Garden City. I would like to include those parcels in my evaluation for this here, but I will not, even though they're all 40 by approximately 100, 115. I would just note that every one of those parcels are non-conforming as to the Village of Garden City's code, which is a R8, 8,000 square foot minimum, 60-foot frontage, and there's 21 parcels, 21 of them are non-conforming. But if we look at the subject property, it is an 80 by oversized depth containing 12,382 square feet in a C zone. The pattern of development and makeup lends itself to a subdivision as proposed. I have from some photographs and aerial views as well as comparable sales that I'd like to submit. I almost forgot about them again. So, in continuing, you will note on the radius map the parcel to the immediate east, similar 40-foot frontage. Parcel to the west, similar 40-foot frontage. Yeah,
Are you,
on Cathedral Avenue.
right,
On the north side of the subject.
were you just referring to the one? I'm sorry, I just didn't hear, I thought you said you'll note to the east, 40-foot, similar 40-foots.
Right, similar 40-foot frontage,
Just the one, though, you were, I didn't,
Just that
I
one,
thought you
yes.
were saying it plural, I apologize.
just that one. And then the parcel just to the west is a 40-foot frontage. So what we're proposing is two 40-foot frontages, so now you'll have four of them on the north side. Across the street, you have 50-foot frontage, but which complies with the residential C zone, but each one of those parcels are 100 feet in depth, 5,000 square feet. So where the applicant complies with lot area, those parcels across the street do not. And if you look on the area along Seidman Place, you have many 40 by 100s, and all of them are non-compliant to lot area. Residential C allows for one family, 50 by 110, or about 6,000 square feet, or two family on 12,000 square feet. There is no requirement, I believe, except for a 50-foot frontage for a two-family and 12,000 square feet. The applicant has 12,382 square feet, seeking two one-family houses where the substantial development in the area is non-conforming as far as lot area and/or front width. Across the street, you'll see this oversized rear yard, and you'll see it in my photographs, and that is a religious institution, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And that runs from street to street, from Cathedral Avenue to Stewart Place. The overwhelming, excluding the Garden City section of the map, is 73% non-conforming in the 100-foot radius, and 69% in the 200-foot radius. Based on the pattern of development, area character, it's a reasonable request to subdivide the property into two 40-foot frontages and conforming lot area. The subdivision line would be, it's 4 tax lots, 20-foot frontages on each, and it would be on the tax lot line between lot 162 and lot 163. The houses that are proposed are colonial in nature with an internal garage. They are in keeping with typical new homes that are constructed in the area, and in my opinion, will not alter or change the essential character of the neighborhood. Values are strong in this area, generally running from $650,000 for the smaller homes, Cape Cods in nature, to $1,500,000 plus. Two homes, as proposed, would sell for approximately $1,100,000 apiece, for a total aggregate value of $2,200,000 for both homes at that area. All municipal services are available to the subject property, including concrete sidewalks and curbs, and what's before this board, I believe, is consistent with the pattern of development. Thank you. Comparable sales. For a new colonial, yes. I think I gave you, I submitted,
On a 40 by 100?
What's that?
On a 40 by 100, 1,100,000?
Yeah, a 40 by 1, it's 6,000 square foot lots. Yes.
Just on 6,000 square foot, not a 40.
40 by 100 would be selling in the 800 price range, maybe a little bit higher. You have in 40 by 100, 50 by 100 in other areas, Roosevelt and Freeport selling for over 800.
Mr.
On
Nelson?
40 by 100.
Sorry.
But I have comparable sales.
Mr. Nelson, there are a number of email messages that are opposed to it, and I'm just looking through them, and the themes seem to be that the house has some sort of historical significance to the neighborhood, that the character of the neighborhood, you know, which I know, we see that often, but it really is a theme. And the two houses in the one lot, et cetera. Now, I realize the lots are over 6,000 square foot, but can you tell me, if you know, how many from what I'm getting here and some of the research that the board did, it looks like the bulk of these houses, even when they're on a 40-foot wide lot, that the bulk of those were built without a variance. So I'm assuming that means it was prior to the zoning code being in effect in that area. Or can you tell, when you did your research, were you able to identify which of these 40s or these substandard lots were the product of a variance grant?
For a subdivision.
Subdivision grant, yeah. Sorry.
I don't believe I came up with any variance parcels within the 200-foot radius in the town of Hempstead.
Most of the homes in the area are older homes. There are exceptions. None of the newer homes appear to be on a 40 by 100. And when you speak about, and I know you use the term very frequently, pattern of development, how can you make a comparison or talk about a pattern of development in a very small area where there are almost no new homes, and the homes that are newer are on larger lots? How is that a pattern? How does that develop into a pattern of development? Because most of those homes are older homes, and I doubt very much that many of them were built within the last 30 years.
Well, a lot of them have been upgraded and expanded in the area on 50 by 100, as well as on 40 by 100. If I may just quickly, I'll give you, I don't know if I handed them in, I believe I did, as far as variance lots, and they were on Lexington Avenue, 186 and 190. I'll just hand it.
Where is that?
Sales, just for Mr. Pellegrini's questioning of
Mr.
how much they
Pellegrini,
sell for, and those sold for $1,000,001 and $1,275,000, and they were off of Tulip Avenue, just to the west. But going back to your reference to my reference to pattern of development, character, and neighborhood, I try not to go outside the 200-foot radius, because that's defined as the character of the neighborhood. Typically, before this board, I can, in the future, go further, blocks and blocks. What we see here is most of the homes on the map are on either 50 by 100 or 40 by, like the subject property, in depth, and containing about 6,000 square feet. What we have here is two lots, and that's why I brought it to the board's attention. Immediately to the west, a 40-foot frontage, and immediately to the east, a 40-foot frontage, and the one to the east would be slightly smaller in lot area.
But were
And then
those-
if you look at, on the east side of,
Were those lots subject to variances for subdivisions? They were pre-existing, non-conforming, single and separate lots, correct?
they became non-conforming when
When the zoning code was
Right,
enacted?
when they changed
Yeah,
it from
but
40 to
those were constructed
right. Just
long
like the ones in the
before.
village of Garden City, everything on Cambridge Avenue are all in a R8, 8,000 square foot zone, and they're all 40-foot frontages and 40
It's a
foot,
village.
I mean, approximately 110-foot depths, 111-foot depths. So I would just, when I reference character, neighborhood, pattern of development, a radius map is required, and it's considered limited to a 200-foot radius. And that's how I come up with my conclusion.
If I could also expand upon Mr. Nelson's use of the term pattern of development and character of the community, that the character of the community can be determined by the fact that it exists a certain way, notwithstanding any changes to the zoning code. That is still the character of the community and is the pattern of development. Albeit, development may have been years before, it's still the character and it's still the pattern. If you're referring to recent actions, construction or applications in front of the board, these lots all, for the most part, existed this way and wouldn't have been subject to further subdivision. And again, if you look at the map here, there are no lots, and again, sticking to the town side, not including the village, the only lot really that would be suitable for subdivision would be the church parcel, but that's obviously being used for the religious use, so it's not really something that to be considered. Every other parcel would not be a candidate for subdivision.
I separate the two. A pattern of development implies one thing to me, that there is similar development going on in the immediate area. I understand character of the neighborhood in that everything, some lots may be on a 40 by 100, but now we're creating a new lot where none existed before. That wasn't the case with any of these other 40-footers.
That is correct. The board has not granted variances creating 40-foot lots in this radius. However, when the board looks at whether the proposed lots are quote-unquote out of character, I would respectfully submit that the existence of 40-foot wide lots and the proliferation of 50-foot wide lots would make these appropriate for this area based upon the way it exists today.
In looking at your photographs and in looking at the neighborhood, I would submit that perhaps two brand-new colonial-style homes is not in keeping with the structures on the other 40-foot lots. I mean, they're small capes, they're not very large homes.
Understood, but we're complying with every other aspect.
Understood.
You know, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, and again, we don't believe, and we would respectfully submit, that this is not an over-intensification, because in the C zone, one could have a two-family house on this parcel. As of right, the applicant believes that two single-family homes would be more appropriate for this area than another two-family home, as has existed on this property.
The, lastly, I'd just like to add, the comparable sales that I handed in, 186 Lexington and 190 Lexington Avenue, was subject to, there was a corner, southeast corner of Tulip Avenue and Lexington Avenue. That was before this board, that was granted, and they both required similar variances, including front yard setback on the corner. And if we wanted to bring other variances throughout the northeast section of Franklin Square, there have been many outside the 200-foot radius.
How far away is the Tulip Avenue project?
It's about half a mile to the west.
Half a mile.
But why I
I
brought that was for the selling prices on variance lots.
Okay. I would venture to say that within that half a mile, there have been numerous other applications to build on 40 by 100 that were denied by this board.
On the alternative, I'd say there was probably many of them too that were granted.
Okay.
Also, as far as, once again, the area character, I would respectfully submit that this would not create a deviation from the existing area character.
In terms of lot size,
Correct, and width.
well, most of the houses over there are on larger than 40 by 100s. In any event, we have, does that conclude your presentation?
It does.
We have someone here in opposition. Would you like to speak, sir?
Yes, name's Robert Stringer. I live at 314 Sybin Place, around the block from where they like to build these homes. You know, I was concerned about the impact it would make. One, I think it's a big variance they're asking for. Two, I think it is. There's a lot of congestion there already. There's a field with a lot of activity that goes on with children, cars, just a lot going on. We don't need any more traffic. The environmental impact of what this would do. Also, change the character of the neighborhood. I think there's a lot going on here that really everybody can take into consideration. And as you see, all the neighbors, there's a lot of emails, I'm sure you've read them, a lot of concerns that people have. I really hope you take that into consideration, making a decision going forward with this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want to show those emails to Mr. Abertine?
I had Christina give them to Mr. Abertine so he can speak to you.
No.
What did you say?
They're not good.
Oh, that's your alternative. That's fine, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you. If I may take a moment to just address some of the comments. There's references to historic value. I'm not exactly sure what that's pertaining to. The house is going to be demolished. The house that's on the property is going to be demolished in any event. The utilities have been disconnected, and it's ready for demolition. So irrespective of whether the application is approved, the property is going to be redeveloped. I would respectfully state that with respect to any historic contention, that does not really carry weight. Most of the other comments appear to pertain to parking. Again, we are providing one-car internal garages with driveways, as we do on all the applications that we make to the board. And so there'll be full compliance with town requirements as far as that's concerned. And the addition of one, really what this boils down to in terms of congestion, in terms of overdevelopment, if you will, it's two houses where there was previously one, but the existing home was a two-family, and a new two-family can be constructed on this parcel as of right, or one much larger home than either of the two that are being proposed. To Mr. Regano's point, mentioning that the proposed homes are larger than many of the other homes, I would submit that if one home is built on this property, it's going to be considerably larger than the existing homes due to the size of the property involved. It does, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Abertine, Mr. Nelson, the other gentleman who signed in, and your client, Mr. Abertine, will all receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you, folks. Have a nice day.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good to see you, man. Yes.
customer either.
I think you lost your taste buds.
I did from COVID, yeah.
So did Corolla. All right, we're gonna do decisions,
And it
folks.
only came back like 2/3.
All right, case 292 of 2025 near Island Park. Janet Fastberg, variance, lot area occupied, maintained, second-story rear addition, open below, attached to dwelling. Any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I have a motion, case number 292 of 25, Jana Fastberg, variance, lot occupied, maintained second story, rear addition, open below, be granted as requested with the additional, to make sure that the below is not enclosed.
Did they agree to that?
I don't know if it was asked
I don't think it was asked.
generally. Okay, so you don't.
Well, no, I mean, do you have any input on that one, about this one, Fastberg, with the remain open below?
I didn't go either way on that one because they're
So
already.
then we'll include it. Then we'll include it. All right.
Well,
I want
thought
you to
because-
specify that it's to remain
but
open.
they're already
Be granted as,
getting the lot area occupied approved here, right?
Yeah.
292 of 25, be granted as requested, with the
Condition.
condition of keeping the area below the addition open.
Second? I second it. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next case, 293 of 2025, West Hempstead, Nellie Backer. Variance is subdivision of lot area, front width on, from and on street line to front setback line, maintained dwelling on a lesser lot. That's 967, and we're going to consider 294, which is a companion case. Nellie Backer, variance of subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling. I want to hold that case. I saw that. I'd like to hold it because I want to go back and look at it again. 295 and 296 of 2025, Wantagh Capstone Homes LLC. Variance subdivision of lot, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling parcel A. That's 2021 Pine Street, and 296 of 25 Capstone Homes. Variance is subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, front yard, average setback, constructed dwelling with a garage. All right, any comments? There should be a few.
I have a comment, to start off with, the builder, left the place in such a disheveled, according to Mr. Pellegrino, that, he really can't be trusted to abide by what we say. He seems to be doing the minimum, so whatever we do,
So why don't we
decide.
do this? He said he was gonna clean it up. Why don't we hold the case for a week and see if he cleans it up? All right? If he doesn't clean it up, then somebody will go out there. Go there. All right? Well, there were several issues brought up. Can't change the grade, one. If needs sidewalks. Well, I'm recused. Can't change grade. Yeah. 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 5 feet.
Yep. The interior.
I'm accused. Well, that's what they testified. Yeah, that's such minimal variance. It's really de minimis. Got to grant a given condition. Well, we're going to hold it. We're not going to do anything with it today. We're going to hold it. Let's see good faith. Oh,
Where you going? Yeah.
All right. So next case, 297 and 25 near Garden City, Kiwi Cooks LLC, special exception for proposed place of public assembly and amusement in portion of existing building, Young Chefs Academy, that one's at 650 Stewart Avenue. Any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion for 29725, special exception for proposed place of public assembly and amusement portion of existing building, Young Chefs Academy. I know there's a CEQA component if the action is not necessarily a type 2, type 1.
Make a
I
motion.
move that we adopt the negative declaration as the CEQA determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed. I make a motion.
Second on that.
All in favor? Any opposed? Next portion, next.
As to the decision?
With conditions. We're going to move it forward with conditions.
So
What are the conditions?
the conditions that I have written down
Are?
are that there be no more than 20 students, 2010, including 2 instructors, so no more than 22 folks on premises at any given time.
Hours.
The ages of the students will be from 4 to 17. Classes will last 60 to 90 minutes. I have, during the school year, the premises will be open Monday through Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. And then Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Summer hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Summer camp is 3-hour courses, and that they can also have children's hours. Those are the conditions that I have written down. I do know the attorney's going to also do that.
Okay, I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 298 of 2025, Elmont, Clinton and Michelle Ann Broadbelt. Variance lot area occupied, maintained roof over something, attached to a detached garage that, I don't know what you want to call it, should be kept open and unobstructed, not enclosed. Any other comments from the board?
Nope.
Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion on 298 of 25, Almont, Clinton, and Michelle Ann Broadbelt, 47 Wellington Road, be approved as requested with the conditions mentioned about keeping it open.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, cases 299 to 300 of 2025. Those cases have been adjourned to June 25th at 2 p.m. when Mr. Pellegrini will return. Cases 301 and 302 of 2025, I'd like to hold that for additional viewings and...
The Hempstead one and the Wonton one that we approved on the,
Didn't do it. Pardon? On which one?
I would vote against the Frank.
Want to do some additional investigative work.
I also think one rationale too is, it looks like he can have an as-of-right two-family
Two-family.
residence. So I think that reduces the, this argument, you know, the one about how you should be able to get the full use out of your property. Like, he doesn't need these variances to get a pretty substantial use of this property. Because without variances, he can get a legal two-family.
As of right.
That's what I mean.
Correct, because it's over 12,000
So
square
I think
feet.
that's one thing that's.
And it's a Res C,
Yeah, I think it's quite relevant
it's
to
a Res C,
this.
the analysis. Yeah. 12,000 square feet in a Res C.
But I think that helps us because
And it's
it
considered-
allows us to see. I told her the argument that they can case 239 and case 240 of 2025. It's 7 Barrett Street in Lido Beach. The applicant is David Adelsberg. I move that we grant in part and deny in part. We can grant them the maintenance of the deck in the rear yard and the pool and pool equipment in the side yard, and the fence installation larger than the pool area, but not deny. I want to deny forward of the dwelling, as we have in many of those cases in that area.
So we're gonna deny the forward of the dwelling, which may substantially obstruct line of sight. Okay, and,
All in favor?
would you like the deck to remain open?
Yes, let's do that, please.
Okay, so 239 will be with conditions, and 240 is granted in part denied.
Correct.
Gotcha.
All in favor?
Who made the motion?
Paul, Mark did.
Mark, who made the motion? Who seconded the motion?
No, actually,
AP?
okay.
Your chair.
And then as it relates to the case, where is it? Oceanside. Cases 268 through 271. So, yeah, I think there's 4 signs. So, in each of them, they want to change the facade or whatever. Doesn't matter. That's fine. 2 of the 4, though, in each of them, they want to change what's, let's say, a 4-foot diameter, 2 poles holding at the sign, to like 12-inch at the minimum. It looks more like it's 14 to 16-inch poles, 2 of them. And the degree to which it blocks the visibility on 2 of the locations, I recommend we deny that portion of the request. Now, if they want to, use the bricks in such a way that it's just the length of a brick, so it's 5 inches, but they're making these 2, it's like there's this big a pole, this big a space, and that big again. And on the 2 that I recommend we deny, it's because you need to look left to see oncoming traffic.
Sure, so
and
it's a visibility issue.
Absolutely. So I drew on here
You know which signs?
which 2 in green, so approve, and pink is red, so deny. So these 2, no.
Amazon Fresh. It's, by
It's on the way to
Staples,
Costco.
Michael's, Kohl's, Michael's. Correct, where Walgreens used to be.
So these 2, no. These 2, yes.
But now, you just want them to, the poles, you want them to reconfigure the poles, correct?
I just don't want the poles to be any thicker than they are.
Okay, so,
Because even if you look at the photos, you can see, and I went out there and walked and took my own photos.
I'm just trying to think.
See, when they're making the other poles wider, they're doing it by adding decorative brick. So, the way they propose it on those 2 signs, you can't. It's too much of a block of visibility.
So then, it should, right, correct me if I'm wrong, it should be granted temporarily with conditions, and that's a condition, that these poles cannot be any thicker.
Well, that's a denial of that part of the
But
request.
I'm just trying to, where does it say it, and I'm not being silly, I'm just trying to, where does it say it in the request? You know? 'Cause I see the face per sign, I see
Install
the
ref-
height, and I see the clearance. I don't see anything that the pole specifically needs to be.
Well, they testified to it.
No, I get that, but
No, let me just find it.
I don't think that anything should be denied, I just think that.
Install refurbished multi-tenant detached living development.
Supposed to be no thicker than that.
Clearance from grade to the bottom of the sign, refurbished. I guess it goes in the refurbished part. I don't know. See how they're I don't know. However you want to do it, it's just that.
No, I understand, you
Yeah.
want the poles to be the same, no thicker than they are.
On those 2. On the other one, it's fine.
The other ones you're
And I'm
okay
just concerned if we say the word granted without being real clear, that,
That's why I think condition number 1 would be that the poles be no thicker than what they are now, with no
on the 2, the other 2 they can do.